Hey everyone, welcome back to Matchday 5 team selection video. I did a deadline decision video yesterday, so if you've not watched that, go back and watch that first to watch this one. I did plan to just use 4 transfers, but when I looked at my side, I realised that Bellingham is suspended, and I do think they'll get knocked out against Real Madrid. So I'm thinking about selling him now and minusing 3, because I'll have to sell him next round anyway, so I might as well try and get some points now, and then I'll have somebody for the next round, hopefully. In this video, I'll go over the transfers that I'm making, and then I'll show you my semi-final plans. Yes, I know it's a bit early, but it's good to have these little plans in your head, just so you know who you can actually afford and why you're making these transfers and saving the money for who. So that's the intro out the way. Let's just jump into it. So first of all, let's go over my chip strategy. I'm going to use the maximum captain, and I'm going to activate in Matchday 5, and then I'm going to use the 12th man in the semi-final, Matchday 6. My thinking is for this round, I'm not sure who I want to captain in some of these games. The likes of Cole Palmer or Fernandez, or Hakimi or Kvaratskhelia, and I want to take that headache out of my head. And I'm also thinking if I use the 12th man in the next game week, I can sign somebody like a Kane or a Jude Bellingham, and it not being my budget. So quickly I'll just go over the transfers again. In quarter-final we've got 4 transfers to use, semi-final we've got 5, and then in the final we've got 6. It does look like I'm actually going to use 5 transfers now, which will be a -3. So next we've got the maximum players you can have from each club, and in the quarter-finals we've got 5, and then in the semis we've got 6, and in the final we've got 8. So here are the quarter-final fixtures. Fluminense against Al Hilal, Palmeiras vs Chelsea, PSG vs Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid vs Borussia Dortmund. And we'll know what the semi-finals will look like. It'll be either Fluminense or Al Hilal vs Palmeiras or Chelsea, and then PSG or Bayern Munich vs Real Madrid or Borussia Dortmund. So let's go over the clean sheet odds, and these are all via 11FI. So the team with the best percentage of keeping a clean sheet is Chelsea against Palmeiras. So I think if you're buying a goalkeeper or a defender, probably best to go for Chelsea, but that's followed by Real Madrid, who have got Borussia Dortmund. So if you don't fancy Chelsea and you've already got a Chelsea player, then I think the best next option is Real Madrid. So if that's Trent or Garcia or Courtois. And then next we've got Bayern Munich and PSG, who face each other. They've both got a 25 and 23% chance of keeping a clean sheet. I do think both of them teams are probably likely to score though, so I wouldn't be rushing out to buy them, because if they get through anyway, they'll be playing Real Madrid or Borussia Dortmund the next round. And then next we've got El Hilal and Fluminense, them two are playing each other again, and they've got a 20% and 19% chance of keeping a clean sheet. Fluminense has got 3 clean sheets in the Club World Cup so far out of the 4 games. So there is players like Fabio, Thiago Silva, Paredes that you could buy, and then there's players like Koulibaly, João Cancelo for Al Hilal. Palmeiras' best attacking fullback is suspended, as is the centre-back who's the captain for them, so I wouldn't be going for Palmeiras defenders. And then for Borussia Dortmund, they've got the least chance of keeping a clean sheet, so I won't be buying them, because if they get through anyway, they will play Bayern Munich or PSG. If you've got them, you can keep hold of them. I wouldn't be using one of my transfers to just selling them. Then next we've got the win percentages, and Real Madrid have got 61% chance of winning, so they are the most likely team to go through, which I'm a bit surprised about. I thought it would be Chelsea that would be top, but with Real Madrid top, I'll be buying the attacking players from them. So it's Mbappe, Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., players like that. Then also Chelsea players like Pedro Neto, Palmer, Jackson. Then we've got PSG, Al Hilal, Fluminense and Bayern Munich that have all got a really good chance of winning. They face each other, so it's a 50-50 really on who goes through out of them matches. Then at the bottom we've got Palmeiras and Borussia Dortmund, who are the least likely to go through and win. And then lastly I've put in order what I think are the best fixtures, and I think Real Madrid have got one of the best fixtures against Borussia Dortmund. But that's closely followed by Chelsea against Palmeiras. If I was buying attacking players and I've got money, I'll be buying Real Madrid players. If I was buying defenders and goalkeepers, it'll be Chelsea. The thing that swings it for Chelsea is the next round, if they do go through, it'll be against Al Hilal or Fluminense, and then Real Madrid will be playing PSG or Bayern Munich, which is a harder game, so buying Chelsea might be favourable, so that you can have them next round potentially, and an easier fixture. Anyway, with all this in mind, let's have a look at my side and what transfers I'm going to do. So I only just noticed after I recorded my video that Bellingham is actually suspended for the next round, so I've actually got 5 players missing, so I might actually -3 and get rid of him as well. So as you can see right now, I've only got 3 players from side A and 4 players have been knocked out. And then from side B, I've got 7 players and Bellingham suspended. So I am a little bit heavy on side B, but let's have a look at what transfers I'm thinking about doing. And first of all, I'm thinking about selling Sommer for Sanchez. I think there's a bigger chance for Sanchez keeping a clean sheet than the other 2 goalkeepers that I was mentioning yesterday. And I also think there's a better chance of him keeping a clean sheet in the next round if they do progress. So I do want to get Sanchez, because it's more of a set and forget. Transfer 2 is to get Garcia and have a bit of Real Madrid defence. I did think about getting Trent, but the money didn't allow it when I'm using this 5th transfer now. So I'm going to get Garcia. I'm locked into transfer number 3 with Cucurella. I think it's a risk worth taking. It was out of him or Reece James, and I think it's him who's more nailed into the side. And yes, he's got a yellow card and he could be suspended, but when I've got 5 transfers for the next round, I'm thinking I could use that one of them transfers on him even if he gets suspended, so I'm going to buy him. And then lastly, I'm selling Haaland for Mbappe. I did think about getting Nicholas Jackson because I think they've got an easier run, but when we only allowed 5 players from each club, I couldn't get him. You'll understand why in a minute. But my second option was Mbappe, and I don't think that's a bad option. Mbappe only got 20 minutes last game, so hopefully he'll start the next game and maybe get 60 or more. But there is a selection risk with buying Nicholas Jackson, because Chelsea have got Liam Delap as well, and they've also got João Pedro that they've just signed, and Nkunku that scored last game, so the minutes could be shared around in that side. While at Real Madrid, if Mbappe's fit and he's ready to play 90 minutes, he'll play 90 minutes, I think. We're getting to the crunch game of the tournament, so I think he'll want to play him. And then finally, the last transfer that's been put on me, and I'm thinking about using that 5th slot on Pedro Neto instead of buying Nicholas Jackson. I think he's more nailed into the side. He's got a few goals this tournament, and the option is to keep Bellingham and not -3. I think Dortmund will be knocked out anyway, so I'll be using the transfer next game week, so I might as well try and get some points now, and then I'll have him anyway for next game week. So with all that in mind, this is how my game week 5 side is going to look. So Sanchez, Garcia, Cucurella, Neto and Mbappe have came in. So quickly, I just want to mention that I'm going to use the maximum captain this match day. This takes the headache out of which captain to pick. So in game 2, I've got Sanchez, Cucurella, Pedro Neto, Palmer, Fernandes and Estavo. I'm not sure who to captain out of them. It would be probably Palmer that I would pick, but it could be Neto that gets the most points, so that saves me that. Then for game 2, I've got Donnarumma, Hakimi, Pacho, Elise, Kvaratskhelia, and I've captained Hakimi the last 2 games, but Elise and Kvaratskhelia are really good options as well, so that saves me the headache of that. And then for game 4, I've got Garcia, Anton, Guirassy and Mbappe. And the 2 forwards, I'm not sure which one I'd pick. I'd probably pick Mbappe, but if he doesn't start, then I would be more thinking about Guirassy. But Mbappe could come off the bench and do really well, so that saves me that headache as well. And then this is how my side would look with the A side and B side. I'd have 5 players from Chelsea and Estavo. One of them is going to get knocked out because they're playing each other. And I've got PSG and Bayern Munich, 5 players. One of them is going to get knocked out. And then I've got 2 players from Dortmund and 2 players from Real Madrid. And one of them sides are going to get knocked out. So I know for a minimum I'm going to have 4 players that are going to get knocked out. But we're getting to the end of the tournament. I don't feel I need the bench as much because we've only got 2 games to play and then the final where you can't use your bench anyway. So I'm ready to just attack this fixture and hope that I have as many players as possible for the next round. And just make some key transfers in the semi-final to get me through the semi-final. And then with 6 transfers in the final, I can just make the best 11 with the players that are through. So lastly, I just want to go over my semi-final predictions and then show you my plan moves for the semi-final. If these 4 sides do go through, this is how my transfers might look. I know with Inter Milan and Man City getting knocked out, it's not as predictable, so this might not happen, but I just want to show you what my plans are looking like. So here I'm predicting that Cucurella picks up a yellow card and is suspended. I predict that Borussia Dortmund get knocked out, so Anton and Guirassy need replacing. I predict that Bayern Munich get knocked out, so Elise needs replacing. And then Estavo will get knocked out by Chelsea, so he will need replacing. And in place of Cucurella, I could get Reece James, but he's on a yellow card, so he could get suspended as well. If that's the case, then I could get Nuno Mendes from PSG or Levi Colwill. If Real Madrid go through, I'll go and get Trent, and then have a bit more attacking threat from Real Madrid. And then replacing Elise, I've got loads of money, so I can buy Dembele, and he should be starting from then. And then if Al Hilal get through, I can get Leonardo, who's done well for them and been starting all the time. And then I've picked Nicholas Jackson, and I'd have 1.3 million still in the bank. Good thing about Nicholas Jackson and Leonardo is they're the early fixture in the semi-final, so I can see the lineups before I actually make these transfers, hopefully. So I know if Nicholas Jackson's starting. If he isn't and it's Liam Delap, I can pick Liam Delap instead. And then lastly, I plan to use the 12th man chip, and I can buy somebody like Dewey from PSG or Bellingham from Real Madrid. Then it could also be someone like Harry Kane from Bayern Munich if they get through. So there we have it for my Matchday 5 team selection video. I did ideally want Jackson in my side, but Neto's just as good. I did also want Trent, but I couldn't afford it when I got Pedro Neto, so I think that's a good price to pay. I've got Pedro Neto, who's got a very good chance of getting a goal and an assist. And then I've got Garcia, who can get a clean sheet. And he's still got a chance of getting a goal or an assist at Real Madrid. And if Cucurella gets suspended, I can buy Trent next round anyway. Let me know in the comment section what you think I've got wrong. Anyway, signing off, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.